mushroom magic. Coming right up on Weekend at the Cottage. Welcome to Weekend at the Cottage. I'm Nick Manojlovic. We're gonna do a carbonara recipe that's so delicious, you're gonna wanna find the full recipe and photos and all details on our dedicated website. Please visit Weekend at the Cottage. When you're visiting, please subscribe to it. I bet you'll wanna watch this video again and again too. Look for it on our dedicated YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Finally, find us on your favorite socials like Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I bet everyone who loves a really delicious pasta out there is cheering. We're making carbonara with a twist. Traditionally, carbonara is made with guanciale, which is a smoked pork cheek. Instead, we're swapping out the meat, and it's all about mushrooms. And I want to give you an option. If you can't find wild mushrooms, go ahead and make this recipe using white or brown. Just make sure you hit that 1 1/4 pound of prepared mushrooms before you begin. I was lucky enough to have wild mushrooms come to my door. Thank you to my cousin Linda for bringing them. To begin, I gave them a little rinse, brushed off any debris, and now we have to get them ready. We're gonna be sauteing them for the recipe. I have King Trumpets cutting these mushrooms into glorious long ribbons. Interesting shape and color, yellow oyster mushrooms. These get plucked off of the main cluster, so beautiful in this recipe. Really unusual, lion's mane. This spongy mushroom gets thinly sliced. It's very flavorful. A wicked pop of color comes from these lobster mushrooms. Trim off the ends and then just cut the mushrooms into sizable chunks. And my final variety, chanterelle, I'm trimming off the ends. You can leave them whole, you can cut them in half or quarter them. When your mushrooms are prepared, we're gonna place them into a bowl, give them a toss, and then just kind of stand back and marvel at them. They are absolutely fantastic. One thing to do before we head to stovetop to cook the mushrooms and the pasta, I need to get the eggs and cheese ready for the sauce. 4 eggs, extra large, room temperature. I'm gonna whisk them together, and now I'm adding 1 cup of cheese. Some people say it's okay to use Parmesan or Romano. I say, no way, no way. I want you to use Pecorino, which is the traditional cheese for a carbonara. I'm adding the cheese in with the egg. I'm gonna bring them together, and you can set this mixture to the side. Now we're gonna move to stovetop. We're gonna saute those mushrooms and cook our pasta. I have a large skillet, medium-high heat. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of butter. Now, you know me, never one to miss an opportunity. Oh my gosh, how about a drizzle of white truffle oil into that melted butter? The oil and butter come to temperature, and now we're gonna add our prepared mushrooms. Now, you're gonna need about 10 to 15 minutes to cook the mushrooms down. You can turn them using 2 spoons. If you've got a little bit of wrist action, you can flip them in the pan. Let's flavor the mushrooms, a tiny bit of kosher salt, a little bit of black pepper, toss, and then about 5 minutes before they're done, we're gonna get our pasta cooking. Large pasta pot, 3/4 filled with water. I'm heavily salting that water. This is important in a moment. We're then gonna add our pasta. We did a lot of testing of this recipe and found long noodles work best. The creamy sauce and mushrooms cling better to long noodles. You can use spaghetti or the thinner version, spaghettini, which is what we're using today. We cooked our pasta al dente. So the pasta's ready, the mushrooms have reduced. It's time to assemble. Before heading to the workstation, grab a bowl, a pair of tongs, and take about 1/3 of those mushrooms, place them into a bowl, place them on your workstation. Now, we're taking a ladle and a measuring cup, very important. I want you to reserve 2 cups of that hot pasta water. Place it on your workstation. Now we're gonna pull it all together, so to speak. We're gonna drain our pasta, return it to the pot, put it on your workstation. You have the mushrooms in the skillet, add it to the pot, stir them in gently. We're gonna take about 1 cup of your hot pasta water, pour it in, and stir it in. And now the magic of carbonara. We're gonna take that egg and cheese mixture, pour it in the pot, look down and stir, and watch the cheese melt the eggs cook, and you're left with a very creamy sauce. If your sauce is too dry, add a tiny bit more of that pasta water, give it a final stir, transfer your wild mushroom carbonara on a service piece or a really attractive oval like this. It all goes in, and now final details. We're gonna take some tongs and add those reserved wild mushrooms across the top. I love adding a little tiny sprinkle of freshly cracked black peppercorns. How about a drizzle of that fragrant white truffle oil? Instantly filling your home with a beautiful aroma. I'm gonna do a sprinkle of chopped flat leaf parsley, and then last thing, do one final pass with some pecorino cheese, and then head straight to table and present this absolutely phenomenal wild mushroom carbonara. How do I know it's so good? Well, I've tried it a couple of times. Creamy pasta, beautiful mushrooms. For sure, this is magical. Until next time, bon appetito everybody. Enjoy.